Well, hello there. How are ya? Glad you're here. So you want to know a bit more about habit change, do you? You know what? The other day, one of my friends was asking me the question exactly as you are now. How do you change your habits? Joey, you've been changing habits for years now. I mean, I saw you stop smoking, I saw you stop drinking, and now you're not even drinking coffee anymore. Well, what's up? What's up with what's your secret, you know? Well, as you can see in the class I'm building, there's a lot of stuff to cover. There's a lot of science that I'm going to be able to present to you. It's very simple, actually. It's difficult, but it's simple. So it's not a complicated thing to do. I mean, changing your habits. How do you stop smoking? I just don't light up a cigarette. It's pretty simple. It's difficult to do because you know what? There's a habit loop that's created inside of you. That habit loop, that neural pathway, I mean, you never forget how to ride a bike, right? I mean, it wouldn't make sense if you had a diagram every time you had to tie your shoelaces. And how about walking, you know? Lift the right leg, move ahead a couple of degrees, let yourself fall on the foot. No. These things are ingrained, they're automated. That's what a habit is, something that's automated. You don't have to think about it. Most often, triggers, stress and boredom. When you're bored out of your skull, you want to go eat some junk food, you know? When you're stressed, you need that cigarette, another glass of coffee. Doesn't make sense. My friend asked me, what's the single most important thing that you needed to quit? I have to say, number one is threshold. If you're not at threshold, it's going to be very, very difficult to change anything, any habit. Obviously, if you start small and you grow, there's a lot of merit to that. Create a system rather than a goal itself. Smoke one less cigarette every day. You know, maintain the chain. Maintain the chain of days that you are doing your good habit versus the bad one. You know, it's a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of stuff in this class. The main thing is threshold. If you're not at threshold, it's going to be very difficult. And what is threshold? I mean, threshold, if you think about it in architecture, the threshold of a door, the threshold of a room, it is the place where you enter. If you want to actually start on this path, you have to be at threshold. And what is threshold? Key elements of threshold, something has to change. Hello there. Something's got to change. Lifestyle is not working out anymore. You're always smoking up the place. People can't stand talking to you because you're blowing smoke in their face. Your teeth are white, are yellow. Your fingers are yellow. You stink. You spend way too much money on it. My son asked me when he was 2 years old, Daddy, why do you smoke? And I didn't know what to say. Because I like it. It was basically the only thing that I had to go from me, right? To continue smoking. I like it. I actually made the column pros and cons. And cons, I had a ton of things on it. And the pros, I only had I like smoking. And you know what? I didn't even like it anymore. And I kept on anyway. It took me 4 years of quitting to actually stop for good. Because I believe in the beginning I wasn't at threshold. But at the end of those 4 years, when I realized something had to change, that was when my son asked me that question. Why do you smoke? And the something that had to change, I realized, was me. It's not because my job is stressing me out. It's not because I became a father very young. It's not because I feel that I have to step up my game and follow the expectations of my wife. It's not because of all those reasons. I'm a third son. I have to live up to the reputation of my older brothers. And I could give you tons of reasons, but that's basically, you know, pointing outside of my realm of where I could actually affect my life. So until you take ownership of your environment, step up to the responsibility, own up, you'll never be able to change because that is the only place that you can have an effect. You have an effect in 2 areas in your life. How you act upon the world and your perception of it. All the rest doesn't belong to you. All the rest is the outside realm of your persona. The only place that you could actually affect change is your actions and your perception. All the rest is outside. And these actions and perceptions are habits that we can change. So something has to change. That something has to be me. And when, pray tell, does this have to change? Has to change now, my friend. As long as you're putting it for tomorrow, as long as you're delaying the beginning, it's never going to change. Something has to change. That something has to be me, and it has to be now. Because if you've seen the movie Groundhog Day, you know that tomorrow never comes. You're here today, and I said that tomorrow's my last cigarette. I'm never going to smoke again. And you go to bed, and you wake up the next morning. Notice how tomorrow sort of moved forward a bit? I didn't jump into tomorrow because when I woke up tomorrow, I was, today. Every day you wake up, you're today. It's Groundhog Day. Bill Murray was right. And what did he have to do to actually get into the groove of his new life? He had to step up his game. He realized that something had to change. He realized that he's the one who had to change. He had to start giving more, right? He had to start catching that boy from the tree. He had to start accepting he couldn't save the homeless guy. He learned piano and he started wooing this woman. And finally, when he started loving, stopped hating, things changed. And he did that now because trying to kill himself wasn't working. But that's what we're doing when we're stuck in our bad habits. You know what? It's sort of a slow suicide. In all these bad habits that are hurting us. Because we're hurting us because why? We feel that we're not worthy? Well, you are worthy. I think you're worthy. I think that I'm worthy. And I want you to join me in this class that has many more elements than what you see here. I'm going to give you the support. I'm going to ask you for commitment, accountability, and you're going to affect change in your life. If you're at threshold and you realize that something has to change, that something has to be you. And it has to be now. You're in the right place. So come on board. Send me a message. And you know what? This class is for you. We're going to have a little party together. We're going to celebrate the small wins because that's how you get big success. Rome was maybe not built in a day, but you know what? They were laying bricks every hour, brother and sister. That's it, man. That's the secret. You need support. You need love. You need accountability. You need someone that's been there. And I've been there. And I continue being there daily. I'm maintaining my chain. What are you doing? Come on board, man. Time's wasted.